Hey there, everybody. The purpose of this video is to get you all into Excel a little bit and show you how to create this little chart that's in your project right here. I want to teach you this now. We'll continue to learn it during class because I think it's one of the more useful applications of Excel, being able to represent a pattern that keeps building row by row, but letting Excel do the heavy lifting so you can focus on the interpretations. So let's build this thing in Excel. So grab an Excel spreadsheet. It doesn't matter what cell you start this thing in. It looks like I've already started moving around some cells here. So I'm just going to click in here and type number of seeds, because that's how. There we go. That's what it started at. Here's number of seeds. Okay. So I'm going to start by typing 1 and then pressing down, and then 2 down, 3 down, 4 down. And this is going to get old after a while, typing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, blah, 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 blah. One thing Excel is cool about is recognizing patterns like this one. This is a nice, easy, linear pattern, up by 1 each time. And it will continue that pattern for you via a drag and drop. So if you select the cells 1 through 4, or these cells that contain 1 through 4, left click on the 1, hold it, and then drag down to 4 and then let go. Excel now understands that pattern. It understands that, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, the pattern goes up 1, up 1, up 1, up 1, so the pattern is up 1. If you then bring your cursor down here to this little square that's right here, left click, hold that, and drag it, it will continue that pattern as long as you need it to. Okay, I'll stop at 20. But you can keep on going as long as you need to. I mean, it can go on indefinitely, essentially. So, just wanted to let you know that's a neat built-in that Excel has. And it's not just the pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you've got a pattern like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, it'll continue that one. Pretty much any repeating pattern it will be able to recognize. I believe it has to have at least 3 items in the pattern to recognize it. I think, but you can mess around with that if you need to. Okay, the next column is the probability that none of the seeds germinate. Okay. And amazingly enough, I think I spelled all those words right. First time for everything. So if you remember the project, the way we got the values in this column were to take 40%, which is the chance of a seed not germinating, and apply that to each of the seeds we planted. So if we planted 1 seed, there's a 40% chance they wouldn't germinate. If we planted 2 seeds, there was a 40% squared, or a 16% chance that neither of them would germinate. If we planted 3 seeds, there was a 40% cubed chance, or a 0.064. Is that right? 0.064? Yeah. So, in other words, this was the math we learned about in the project. Excel just allows it to be done much more easily, and to get these values over here without having to actually write out repeatedly these values over here. And here's how you do it. It's pretty cool. I'm going to click up in this cell right here, which is the chance that none of the seeds germinate, for the chance I planted 1 seed. So I'm going to start by typing the equal sign, because that's how you let Excel know you're doing math and not just typing text. So far, everything I've typed in here is just text. So now we're going to do some math. Hit equals, and then 0.4 to the, which is shift 6 to get a caret. And it's like just like on your old TI-83s or whatever. So shift and the number 6 gets you a caret. Now what I want to do is I want to put the number 1 in there, but I'm not going to type it. I'm going to click in the cell that contains the 1. You'll see why in a minute if you don't know what I'm going to do next. If I press enter, I get 0.4, which is exactly what I wanted to get. I wanted to get 0.4 because that's what the chance of having 1 seed not germinate is. What's so cool about this formula with the E11 here and not just the number 1 is, if I do the same drag that I did over here, it will drag that formula down. But you see how this one's 0.16? That's because the exponent up here, in this case E12, is relative to the row, or the column, but in this case the row, that you're on. So if I drag it down again, it will be relative to row 13. If I drag it down again, it's relative to row. So you see what you're getting sorry about that. What you're getting is you're getting all these percentages that are over here. They're in decimal form over here, but they're still there. We can change them to percentages at the end if you want. And you can drag that bad boy down all the way, all the way to 20 if you want to. And there, they keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, which hopefully makes sense. I hope that makes sense anyway, because the more seeds you plant, there should be a smaller and smaller and smaller, exponentially smaller chance that you don't get any of them to germinate. Right? I mean, if you planted 20 seeds and 40% of them are supposed to not germinate, that means you should have 8 of them not germinate. The chance of all 20 of them not germinating should be ridiculously small. Now, those of you that are getting sick of looking at these numbers, if you want percentages instead, you can just select all of the numbers, then click the little percentage symbol here, and it changes them to percents. Now, Grant, look at those. Those are showing zeros. Those aren't really zeros, right? Those aren't really zeros. They're rounding to 0. And if you increase the decimal, which I'm doing over here, and this is a neat trick to know, if you increase the decimal, you get the actual expanded out versions there. Okay, so far? Now, just a heads up. Well, the questions I'm going to be asking you about are, and have been asking you about, is what's the chance at least one of the seeds does germinate? So let's add this to here. Chance that at least one of the seeds does germinate. Let's see how many of those words I spelled right. All right, not too shabby. 8. All right. And the whole point of these 3 pages of this project is that this chance is the complement of this chance. If there's a 40% chance that none of the seeds germinate, that means there's a 60% chance that at least one does. If there's a 16% chance none of the seeds germinate, that means there's an 84% chance that at least one does. So again, we can use Excel to help us out here. Click it in this cell and just type equals 1 minus, left click on this cell, press enter, and it comes up with your 60%. And then if you drag that all the way down, there you go. Look at that. Look at that. Now, just looking back at the problem we just did in the project here, let's take a look at it here. It's, let's see, what was answer number 11? How many Big Mac seeds should I plant in order to be 99.9% certain that at least one germinates? 99.9. Okay, so what's cool about this chart is all you've got to do is go down until you hit 99.9 for the first time, and there it is, 99.9344 blah 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 blah, but you hit 99.9. Answer 8. So you got the exact same result as you did from the chart that I had in my project, but the better part of it is you actually have the ability now to construct your own chart. And what's cool about it now is you can format it. You can do all kinds of wonderful stuff with it. I mean, you can add headers and add colors and copy and paste this into your own document if you need to. If you really wanted to, you could even graph it if that was necessary. And we'll get into that in class if we haven't already. But the basic gist is, what's neat about this is you can drag this bad boy down as far as you want and create as much decimal precision as Excel will let you by using these buttons up here. So just one more neat Excel tool. They're good ones for sure. Hope that was helpful, and we'll catch you in class.